Working on Terry's eco-shed, Harvey's help has been invaluable.
He relies on me so much. It seems like he can't do a thing without me.
But when Harvey's back went out last episode...
Twisted the wrong way.
You just get out of bed and it goes wonky, eh?
Yeah.
The big guy had to leave in an ambulance. Without his buddy, Terry did manage to get his drywalling and his tiling done, but his plastering is incomplete. And, well, he's gonna need some help. So, we've called in a serious reinforcement.
Ta-da!
Terry's wife, Angie.
You can go for your tour of Terry's lovely shed.
We thought Terry's work here was shockingly bad.
Yeah, I'm missing everything here.
But Angie has a different view.
It actually looks like somebody who knows what they're doing. I'm shocked. You did all this?
Well, most of it, yeah, I guess so.
Oh, I'm very impressed.
Today's first challenge for Canada's worst handymen is to mix and apply grout to the tiles they put up last episode.
I don't know how much to mix, though, because this one can takes 6 ounces of clean, cold water.
Candace was brought to rehab by her construction-working husband, Justin.
She wants to eventually get out there and flip houses.
I love watching home renovation shows, and I've watched so many of them quite often, daily.
She thinks because she watches it on TV, she can do it.
I have more knowledge from watching these shows on TV than he does. Like, if he was to go in and flip a house, I don't think he would have a clue.
She watches Dr. Phil and figures she's a psychiatrist, so.
I don't understand this at all. I don't even, this is so confusing.
One thing TV hasn't taught Candace how to do is comprehend instructions.
This is so confusing.
Okay, I am honestly lost. You know, this should be pretty self-explanatory.
The instructions explain not to mix this fast-drying grout before you're ready to use it.
So this goes into the spaces with this. I don't get how that works.
The tool used in grouting is called a float. Its firm rubber surface allows you to use force without causing damage to the tiles. To begin, load the float with grout.
And then you do something that's kind of hard on the nerves if you've never done it before. You just smear it all on there. It's important to go on a 45-degree angle. If you go with the lines, you can kind of push the grout out instead of pushing it in. It's got a lot of resistance now. After just 5 minutes of drying, it's setting up already. In 15 more minutes, I'm gonna come back with a wet sponge and wipe it all off.
Candace has nowhere for her quick-drying grout to go. The plastic that made these 36 tiles easy to install hasn't been peeled off.
Justin, can you be tape peeler while I do the work?
Oh, so I should take the plastic off?
Well, you have to remove it to grout, yeah. You would have to.
Jeff was brought to rehab by his friend Fred.
What's wrong?
One of the tiles came out.
Hopefully the grout will hold it in.
At home in Mississauga, Jeff is confused by his children's toys.
My sons have tools now. They often ask me what this is.
And you call me.
Yeah.
When Jeff calls, Fred comes to the rescue.
Tiles by Fred.
And tiles by Jeff.
I'm thinking I may have been too thin toward the bottom.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking, but...
Jeff hasn't done enough thinking since getting here.
This comes down to reading directions.
Yeah, I didn't read that.
You read the directions and everything?
Nope.
This time, Jeff reads the directions, but doesn't follow them. He mixes his fast-drying grout, only to abandon it.
This stuff is supposed to set up while it's on the wall. It's not supposed to become hard while it's in the jug.
The next nominee also whips up some grout,
It's a pain.
then neglects it. Jaime was brought to us by his constantly negative mother-in-law, Sheila.
Even your dad told me you were silly. That you don't know nothing.
My dad
'Cause
would
you
never
don't
say that
listen.
about me.
At his fixer-upper house, Jaime faces an overwhelming pile of problems.
There's some things that are unfinished.
Some.
Not wanted to.
Drywalling's not finished.
The stairs haven't been completed.
Windows need to be sealed up.
Baseboards not being ever put back on.
Land filled around the house.
Closet doors.
No cupboard doors.
Unfinished walls.
No door.
Laminate floorings.
Trim around the ceramic.
Light switch covers.
Holes in the wall.
The caulking in the bathtub.
One of Jaime's problems is never getting to work in peace.
I do call my mom a lot to come over and help work on projects because I feel confident that she knows what she is doing.
Jaime read the grout instructions, but he's not following them.
When did you make the grout?
I made it right off the bat, but I put a little bit more water when I saw that it was settling.
So when did the grout get mixed?
10 minutes ago?
It sets up in 15 minutes,
15
though, right?
minutes, I know.
You want
I
to mix
know.
it and apply it.
I realize that.
You don't want to mix it and just leave it sit like become that. It's not going to run. It's going nowhere.
I know. I made a mistake there.
The final nominee for Canada's Worst Handyman makes the same mistake.
Makes the grout.
I don't know anything about grouting.
Neither do I.
Ruth from Capel, Saskatchewan, was called out by her daughter, Michelle. The house where Ruth single-handedly raised her 3 children
Some of the legs are a little wobbly. So what?
is like a museum of her bad handiwork.
They will move, but they won't. They won't come down. I know that.
In rehab, Ruth designed a shed for her own height.
My shoulder's going to hit the ceiling in this one.
But when she saw the other sheds, Ruth got jealous and asked for hers to be raised 3 feet.
So the top of this plate is 8'10".
Right.
That's made it too tall to work on, and unbeknownst to Ruth, it's too tall to get through our workspace door.
I wish I'd made it a little smaller.
You're going to wish that a lot more as this goes on.
Before they began this challenge, I reminded the handymen to
Read the directions, make some smart decisions.
now,
I pulled a tile off.
Oh, my God.
the only person who isn't letting their grout solidify in the bucket is the handyman who gave this job to his wife.
How long do I have to put this on? 15 minutes?
I don't know. Whatever the directions say.
It's not good. I think it's gonna be dry before I'm finished.
Maybe the instructions are too confusing.
It says application. Force grout into joints with rubber grout float. Remove as much excess as possible from the surface of the tiles with the edge of the grout float. Allow approximately 15 minutes to set up and become firm. You seeing the disconnect here?
No, I thought they meant before we applied it.
Trying to reanimate his sludge, Jeff stirs in some water.
Oh, that's thin. Pack it in as best you can. You know what we might want to do next time, where instructions are involved? Is we both read them together, and that way we both understand them thoroughly.
Okay.
It's not too late. If Fred read the instructions now, he could put a stop to this madness. When we come back, Jaime faces the hard truth.
You're supposed to mix it together and then apply it.
Can't I sand it?
Sand it?
Are different from the rest of us. As they grew, they never learned the value of instructions. No, these sad creatures rely solely on their wits.
And my grout is really hard now, so I'm just gonna add some water to it and pray it loosens up a bit. I don't know if that'll work.
The bonding agent in grout undergoes a chemical reaction when it gets wet the first time. Disturbing this bonding process with more water will make it gluey,
I'm gonna give it a shot.
but the final product will never last.
Start with just a little bit. It's pretty runny now.
Now Candace needs to learn that force is the only difference between grouting and wiping.
You don't think that that's grouted, do you?
How do I stick it in these little holes with this big giant thing? Give me, I'll do it.
What do you see? Do you see it squishing in?
Oh, I see.
You gotta push hard.
Justin, we should tile stuff at home. That would be fun. Hey? It's really pretty, too. What could we tile at home?
I noticed that she's using her knife horizontal. That will never give her a straight line.
That's our head teacher, Jill Rydell. She and our head builder, Greg House, watch every bad move the handymen make from this high-tech mission control center.
They're really seeing now how too much mortar on their tile is really causing them problems.
At the end of each episode, Greg, Jill, and I decide the most improved handyman and the worst.
You have to say that Ruth is the worst.
Grouting should look messy, but not like this.
You're supposed to mix it together and then apply it.
Jaime mixed his, then peeled plastic for half an hour.
Oh, damn.
That's why it's so stiff right now.
Yeah,
you got the
like-
plastic all off, though.
No.
While Jaime suffers, his mother-in-law heads over to Terry's.
What did you do? How come I see so many screw holes there?
Come in here, Sheila. You be the host?
Oh, my God.
Now, obviously, he didn't get his work done. Obviously, you don't know how to mud.
No.
But you could have asked.
Sheila's being herself.
Whoever's gonna sand it's gonna have one heck of a good time.
If you can't take it, she won't do it to you. And in a way, it's kind of a compliment, kind of weird sort of way.
Right, it looks like a kindergarten student could do a better plastering than that.
No, it's not that bad.
Oh, what a miserable.
I was wondering, should we be over here if she had the chance?
Well, we'd tell her to piss off. That's what we would do.
And so many words, yes.
So, it's been about 15 minutes since I grouted the wall, and now it's time to take off the excess grout with a damp sponge. For this, you want to go in a circular motion. Don't run the grout like this, or you'll just pull it out of the grooves. Always in a circular motion.
Just go like this. I gotta make it look good so I don't get...
All right, I'm gonna save the day. Maybe not. Uh-oh. Does this stuff come off?
You gotta try and fill in the crack there. Maybe with your finger, like this. You know what I mean?
Finger painting aside, Terry's grout looks good. Thanks to Angie.
I noticed that Angie is doing a lot of his work for him.
I clearly wear the pants in the family.
When Jeff grouts one of his fallen tiles back in place, he wipes them all, but he doesn't bother to dry them. When Jeff leaves, the moisture evaporates, and his real work is exposed. Ruth used so much mortar to get her tiles on the wall, it's filling the spaces where her grout is supposed to go.
I have no idea what the hell I'm doing.
When they go to put the grout on, it won't adhere. There is a tool to fix that, though.
Namely, this thin set mortar saw. It's designed to do the job that Ruth was just trying to do with her screwdriver.
Oh, bloody plastic still on there.
Look at that crappy job you did on the wall.
Thank you. You're welcome.
For Ruth to finish correctly, she'll have to clear cut this entire area.
Whoops. Oh, Jesus. Just scratched the tile.
Should only sit for 15 minutes to half an hour before you wipe it off, eh?
Yeah, I know. Oh, okay. So can't I sand it?
Sand it?
Jaime's recycled glass tiles cost $200. They're not to be sanded. In Candace's room, there's big news, but it has nothing to do with grouting.
I'm 3 months pregnant.
What?
Yes. Today.
You're pregnant.
Yeah. That's sometimes why I get a little bit irritable.
Since we've known Candace,
Justin, please, I want to do my own shed. You're making me angry.
her moods have been extreme. Sometimes she almost cries,
What do you want me to do?
I don't know.
and sometimes she does cry.
I'm fine.
So I'm pregnant again and due in June, and this is my second baby.
We've been treating all the nominees as equals, be they young, female, or Terry.
Okay. Whoa! Whoa! That would hurt.
But this puts Candace in a different league.
So at least they know why I'm not going up on the ladders. It's not that I'm lazy.
Looking back, it's amazing to think the only person here who knew Candace is carrying a child
Justin, I'm right here.
was Justin.
Justin, don't do that when I'm putting it in.
Hold on. Push hard.
Ouch.
Justin has given his wife splinters.
Why would you just do that?
He's given her attitude.
Candace, what do you want me to do? Don't sit there and shake your head. I'm not staying till 9 o'clock.
Fine, go home then.
And he's almost given her a black eye.
Pregnant.
Yeah, baby number 2.
After the break, Terry's wife is the foreman.
Terry, whoa. You're pounding the hell out of it.
It's broken.
And the 5 nominees have worked in the rain, they've scared themselves, and they've scarred themselves.
After all we've put Canada's worst handyman through, they really do deserve a nice, long, slow soak in a hot tub. So we told them to bring their bathing suits. The next challenge for Canada's worst handyman is to put together a wood-burning hot tub. It's a prefab kit. It takes 3 hours to put together. It takes 3 hours to heat up. So at the end of the day, someone's gonna get in it. Even if it's me wearing my wetsuit.
Last episode, Terry's friend Harvey was named the most improved person here. That means he should be the leader in today's team task. But Harvey has
gone home with a bad back, which means the foreman for today's challenge will be Angie.
Oh my God.
Terry's wife. 3 hours, everyone.
I have a question. Can
Please.
you look at the instructions too, or is it only Anne?
I just think that it's better if one person reads the instructions because I think more people that read
Can't we
it
look at the pictures?
Terry's having trouble with this already.
Yeah, I know I am. Can we look at the pictures, son?
There's no pictures.
Actually, there are pictures. When fully constructed, the water circulates from the tub to the firebox via a slightly slanted tube system.
It's gonna go parallel to the hot tub. Okay, she's
Parallel,
consistent.
whatever.
You don't know what parallel is?
Before Angie even has a chance to read the instructions, the men start putting the puzzle together. However, they miss one very important step. To make a perfect seal, 3 lines of caulking have to be squirted into the deep notch on every one of these boards.
Is there any pipes and stuff we can do up right now, or do you want us just to work on this first?
Let's do this.
Okay.
43 perfectly placed staves make the wall of this hot tub. Then those staves get tightened in place with 2 adjustable rings. But these staves are already uneven.
I think we may run into a bit of an issue.
Terry, whoa.
What?
The wood is starting to buckle over
Yeah,
here.
I know. That's
You're
what I'm trying to.
pounding the hell out of it. Okay, Terry, give me that mallet.
Huge problem over there. You see that?
Hit it in. Oh.
Oh, you have to take it all out.
Because the new staves have all been pounded, these first ones are starting to push off the edge.
It's got to come down.
But only the buckling sections of wall come down.
Okay, when you tap it in, don't bang it this way so hard.
Okay.
Terry and Jaime are now making the continuous wall in 2 sections.
That's good right there, just like that.
When the circle comes around, big surprise. The staves don't fit.
Something's not right there, boys.
Cedar wood is famous for 2 things. It resists rot, and it splits easily.
Just doesn't look like it's gonna go.
Pretty close. It's broken.
Now, see, we still got a big gap over here, Terry.
Well, how about we just put duct tape right there and...
Yeah, duct tape is
Just
good.
like that.
I wonder if we can use the metal thing.
So it doesn't pop out on the bottom?
Yeah.
How are you going to push it along then if it's tight?
Well, I'm not going to tighten it right up.
If the hoops aren't tightened, they're pointless.
Look at this. I can stick my finger in it.
Yeah, well, we got to tighten... This one ain't tightened yet.
I'm gonna hold this board until you figure out what it's for.
Well, it's the extra board in case we have gaps.
In case they have gaps?
People have to kind of watch when they're getting out of the tub so that they don't, like, land right on
Okay,
this.
you know what? I'm done fooling around with you guys. This board's going in.
Well, that piece of board that you're holding right now is broke. It'll leak.
This is the Terry that I really wanted to share with the rest of Canada.
I liked it better when Harvey was here.
He's crying for Harvey. Oh, I want Harvey back. Oh, I want Harvey back. Well, go get Harvey back. Go see if Harvey will make your meals. Because my husband broke this piece of wood, we'll make an exception. We'll leave this out, okay?
Altering the design of a prefabricated barrel will open the floodgates to a river of problems.
Okay, did your theory work out yet?
Oh, yeah, it worked out great.
It's working?
Seems to be.
Even if they do get the wall pinched in place, its diameter will be too narrow.
This is benches for the inside.
Ah,
What do you want to know?
the diameter, what is it?
The inside diameter?
Yeah.
61.
Then we're 4 inches short, which means we're a thing short, and these won't fit.
The benches will have the exact same curve as the properly built tub.
If there's a piece missing, they won't fit.
Terry and Jeff have moved on to the plumbing. And just like the tub, they're putting it together without consulting the written manual.
Terry, have you even looked at the instructions?
I don't need instructions, I got a picture.
Terry makes the correct connections, but he has a serious problem.
This has to go on there somehow.
He wants to use every part.
Is this a jet?
In the instructions, it says this plumbing kit contains several pieces that are unnecessary for this model.
These elbows are kind of tricky, eh?
There's an awful lot of spare parts.
To use the unnecessary hardware, Terry pointlessly adds valves and elbows, but no sealant on the joints. When he's got every part in place, the hot water to the tub is going to have to flow straight uphill.
What are you guys doing? You only got 15 minutes left.
What are you doing with that jacket on?
I'm here to make sure you get this done
You
on
just go
time.
back upstairs.
There's somebody that left a blade out there again. Jaime, you don't need to lean on there like a city worker. That's an issue when you're working, not to leave dangerous tools around.
I've had enough of you.
Get working.
I'm not gonna play this game. You can stop talking to me right now.
I'm not the project leader.
Oh! Better put some glue in between that.
You're gonna get
and
kicked
then-
out in a minute.
Everyone now agrees the seats are pointless, yet they're still being built.
Will it fit inside this thing?
No.
Is this project over?
Yeah.
There's no seats, no caulking, and the water has to run straight uphill. Angie's entire team is one stave short of a barrel. There's 5 hours until happy hour.
So far, so good.
Just enough time to fill the tub, light the fire, and see if this thing heats up before it runs dry.
It is leaking. I told him that other board was supposed to go in there.
When we come back, Sheila threatens to snap.
If he doesn't behave, this will break over his head.
Country are doing their very best work to each construct an ecologically friendly shed in just 2 weeks.
Now, if you're gonna shut up, you can stay there.
When they're finished, someone will be named Canada's worst handyman.
The sheds being built by Canada's worst handyman have already been auctioned off on eBay to raise money for Habitat for Humanity.
One lucky bidder will receive this shed, built to perfection by our experts. The other 5 bidders, well, they won't be so lucky.
I love what you've done with the shed. This is great.
Tongue in groove lumber. It's very popular. This side's obviously the tongue, and this is the groove. And it's popular because it can turn dozens of small pieces of wood into one long, continuous sheet. Works perfectly on 8-foot lengths of chipboard. It also works very well on thin little strips of wainscoting. The next challenge for Canada's worst handymen is to vapor barrier their ceiling, then cover it over with tongue and groove pine. Shouldn't be that hard.
It's pretty hard if you can't reach.
That's not steady. That's not steady. You can't get on that. See?
You know what? I've got the shakes. I don't feel very well.
Well, let me get up the ladder then.
No. You shouldn't go up the ladder.
Ruth's shed is more than twice her own height.
Is this shed too big, maybe?
It's too high.
Too late now, isn't it?
It's too late now.
The shed's too big.
Yeah, I know the shed's too big.
Maybe if you kind of lift me up, I can do it.
Yesterday, Candace told us she was pregnant.
If you just hold me up, then I can staple.
So we're not allowing her on any more ladders.
Boost me. Justin won't lift me up.
I mean, what's more dangerous, you going up a ladder or him holding you? It's the same thing, isn't it?
Not really. You're a little more sturdy than a ladder.
Oh, that's not true at all.
I just want him to
Please.
pick me up.
There's a reason why we don't see workmen lifting each other up, because ladders are more stable than workmen.
They're not allowed on the ladder.
As soon as I leave, Candace goes up the ladder.
Oh, I feel dizzy.
You feel get off the ladder.
No, I'm okay.
Get off the ladder.
No, I'm okay.
Candace, if you feel dizzy, get off the ladder.
No, it's just because I was looking
Get
up too
off
long
the
and the
ladder.
blood was coming down to my head.
More than 250 pounds aren't allowed on these ladders either. That's 113 kilos.
So you guys together weigh less than 250 pounds, I'm
Oh,
assuming?
yeah. Yes? I think we're less than that.
You're less than that together? Fine, then my work here is done.
Careful.
Don't do that, please.
Sorry.
Don't do that, please.
Jesus H, honey.
That's cool.
That's not cool.
I'm going up.
Is that locked in?
Yeah.
No. I said no. Oh my God. You're gonna kill yourself. It's another thing I take back to the store. My fingers!
I'm sorry.
Get them out of here.
After a full hour of near catastrophes, Ruth needs some high-level help. As the tallest person here, that means me.
When I got this job, I said, do I get to do any of the building? Oh, no, they said, no, no, no. You're just the host. The handyman, they build their own sheds. You won't have to lift a finger.
Instructions.
This tongue-and-groove ceiling comes with easy-to-follow instructions.
They really don't make sense.
When installing a tongue-and-groove ceiling, make sure all the joins are staggered and cut the boards so every edge lines up with a rafter.
So you gotta cut once right there, because then you stagger the joints. You have one for the joint.
What does staggering the joints mean?
Jaime, you don't have it.
Relax, I'm not two people here.
Jaime, listen.
But if I come all the way down, it's not staggered anymore.
I know, so come all the way down.
But I just don't have the support that I need to finish.
Have you been waiting on boards?
No, he hasn't been waiting on boards. And if he doesn't behave, this will break over his head.
See people starting to hit other people with sticks, it makes me want to throw her out. You want her tossed?
Sure.
You're tossed. You're gone.
It's looking good,
You're gone.
though.
You're out of here, Sheila. You're gone.
We have pretty lenient rules here, but public beatings cross the line.
What do you mean I hit him with the stick?
I mean, you hit him with a stick and you're out. You go help somebody else.
You want me to hit him with the stick? I'll club him.
You already did hit him with
And with that, Sheila heads off to spread her joy all around.
You got kicked out again?
I hit Jaime in the head. Maybe I'll see if Ruth needs help over here.
Yeah, Ruth needs lots of help, but she doesn't feel well.
Oh, just knock it off and let's go. Here. Oh, dear.
Sheila's not here to help. She's here to tell war stories.
I got kicked out. I hit Jaime with a headboard.
Oh, hell. She's helping, but not really.
I can't believe it.
Sheila leaves, and so does all the energy.
That is pretty.
Don't do that.
Jeff is staggering his boards, but just in random lengths. None of them are ending on rafters.
This is not a ceiling. I don't know what that is.
Terry's boards all end on the same rafter.
You're just gonna have one giant seam there, and you want to stagger these boards so they almost look like brickwork, eh?
Okay, what do you mean stagger?
I mean, take these ones down.
I'm not taking it down. It took me an hour to do that.
You're still not staggering him, hey?
No.
You just giving up on that idea?
Yeah.
The only shed being done right is Candace's, and that's thanks to her construction-working husband, Justin. Where would Candace be without him? When Justin sees Jaime in need of help, he shares a few of his time-saving tricks.
There's 580s.
You're all done yours already?
Yeah.
Did you stagger yours?
Yep.
Did you use the Brad nailer?
Yep.
Holy cow.
Thanks to Justin, Jaime also finishes, just in the nick of time. The entire rest of the group are left with incomplete ceilings. When we come back, the handyman has something to aim for.
Do you want me to hold it?
Number 2.
Oh, my God.
My God.
Men put in a urinal, women put in a toilet. They're both composting. They're eco-friendly toilets.
When do we get to the fun part?
2 hours.
Usually, the bad handymen throw the instructions away and dive headfirst into the task, not caring if they screw up.
With water-free urinals.
Today, everyone drops at least 10 minutes doing nothing but carefully reading. Outside, the hot tub these people slapped together is leaking like a sieve. If that happens with one of these, well...
Jaime, is that for that right there?
For some people, open toilets create performance anxiety. They need to do their business alone.
Well, I don't want my mother-in-law helping me with this.
Too bad, because here come the nominators.
Look at your instructions.
I am looking at the instructions, and I hate this, and I'm not a plumber.
Jeff, do you have an idea what the hell you're doing?
I haven't a clue. You?
I don't have a clue.
Begin the urinal installation by popping off one tile and drilling a 2-inch hole.
It sounds like you're on hammer.
No. Should I be?
The setting on the drill, called hammer, makes the head spin forwards, then backwards in short bursts. It's used on masonry, not drywall.
It's painful watching Jeff use that drill.
Is having trouble figuring out what his clutch is supposed to be doing.
To mount his bracket, Jaime is supposed to be drilling through the grout. He'll never get through solid glass. With a drill bit designed for wood. Whoa, I stand corrected.
Whatever.
Let's hope it's in the right spot. Terry gets his unit hung, but not well.
There you go. This is an ecological urinal. It is completely waterless. Of course, there is some moisture, but that's all going to come from your own body, and it's going to pass through this.
This is a super fancy urine funnel. It prevents odors from coming back into the shed, and it collects uric sediment, which causes pipe corrosion.
Every 7,000 uses, you put in a new one. I always buy a new one of these, though.
As with many men at the urinal, Terry's aim is a little off.
Come on.
Do you want me to hold it? I'm asking if you
No.
want help.
No. You rushed me. I can't do it now.
I'm not rushing
I gotta
you.
fix it.
How
okay,
am I rushing you?
Finish
I'm doing,
it.
Look what I've been doing.
Okay, finish it. Just
No,
finish it.
go. I don't want to do it anymore.
I
now.
can't.
You pissed me
I can't
off.
do it.
I'm going
All
for a
right.
walk.
See ya.
Misery loves company. And Sheila sure loves misery.
I can laugh forever. It doesn't bother me none.
You have something you want to say to me?
No. Go sit down in the corner someplace.
I'm going to ask you one last time and then...
No, I said.
I'm leaving.
Working with my wife, Angie, is a nightmare because she doesn't know a damn thing. She's driving me up the wall.
Someone's going to have to die, and it ain't going to be me.
Jaime can't get properly hung either.
Come on. Go in, you mother. You.
Missing at the urinal causes an embarrassing mess. Please, please, take special care when aiming. To make sure no one misses later, high-tech urinals now come with cute little targets.
Look at the bee and aim at the bee. It keeps splash down.
That is science. And this is an apology.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Terry style.
That's it?
That's it. Sorry.
All right. Sorry for what? I
Sorry
need
for
to know.
yelling at you.
And you'll never?
Do it again.
Thank you.
All right.
Can I have a kiss?
No, I'm busy.
Kiss!
Oh, hon.
Thank you.
This is how it is when I'm at home. If I'm trying to do something, like I tell her to leave. If she's in the house, I won't do it till she's gone.
For the people with full toilets, it's a whole different story.
That's the tray that you take out to clean out the waste material.
Before it falls into the handy carrying tray, the waste begins fermenting in an earthy mixture of peat moss and living microbes. If you do everything right, the makers of this toilet say there will be no odor and your flower garden will thrive.
I think I need to take some tile off.
The first hole needed is for the 3-inch vent pipe that goes through the roof.
No, that's not a 3-inch hole.
Candace silicones her vent permanently in place, then realizes she needs to drill another hole behind the toilet for liquid outflow.
I didn't tell you to silicone it.
Well, we have to take it off. Don't even come in. I made a mistake. Oh, I can't even get in here.
Candace doesn't remember where she placed her studs.
I think I made a mistake.
So instead of just drilling through her drywall, Candace beavers her way through a supporting 2x4. Ruth also hits a stud.
Oh, bloody hell. I would pick something that had a bloody stud in it.
Then she picks a screwdriver.
You pull her? You got her? Not too hard, not too hard.
That hose will drain into a container identical to Jaime's.
This is wicked stuff.
This crafty tank is designed to evaporate all its contents without ever overflowing.
But I don't get this, how this all works. I don't even know what this is.
It sucks air out.
Where does that go?
The spinning vent Well, usually it goes on a taller pipe to get it out of smelling range. Jaime's done. That means he can go. To prime a composting toilet, dump in a bag of starter mix, followed by the microbe-rich compost accelerator, and you're ready to enjoy.
I got the vent, I got the tube, I got the dirt. I think the whole toilet in general is done.
Candace finishes with time to spare.
Start from scratch again. Take this off.
Everyone will have time to finish this and any other undone jobs right now.
The urinal is just beyond me.
Since getting to rehab, the nominees for Canada's Worst Handyman have been in a race against the clock.
I've never worked so hard in my life.
None of us were finished.
We didn't quite finish. My job isn't half-assed. It's just not complete.
Do you guys need more time?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Okay, then everybody gets an extra hour except for Terry, because he doesn't need it.
I can go home?
Yeah, you can go. Go.
The rest of the nominees
will be taking this hour to finish whatever you want to finish.
Jeff starts by adding to his ceiling. Well, not really. Back on day 6, everyone put in their window. Everyone except Ruth. Since then, she's held the window in place on 3 separate occasions. And you know, every time the window frame has been too wide.
3 inches.
Today, she jigsaws off another sliver of plywood and adds it to the frame.
All right, Mom, I'm here to help you put your window in. What did you do?
What's on your list of to-do?
The wall in the back, the light there where the gyprock goes.
Yeah.
Finish the wainscoting on the roof.
Anything left to go into the toilet?
Yep. I should have stayed in there now.
Yeah.
I'll get that. I'm hoping. Angie, I think she's gonna bitch and complain, but it'll pass. No big deal. Who cares?
You're doing something to Terry's shed that I've never seen done in Terry's shed before.
What?
Cleaning.
And work. Hopefully this decision will come back to haunt him.
I think it could.
Ruth feels haunted by her toilet.
I don't want it. Just go like the bears in the woods.
I'll take it out.
When the bonus time runs out, Ruth's window still isn't in. And Terry still hasn't shown up.
What the hell do you think you're doing?
I had a good time in the hour. I was drinking beer, smoking cigarettes. Get over it.
Following the bathing suit component, we'll name this episode's Worst Handyman. Worst Handyman made a wood-fired hot tub. It's been heating and leaking for 5 hours.
This is leaking pretty bad out of the joints. The plumbing joints are leaking.
The wood joints are leaking too. It's time for the moment of truth.
It's actually hot.
The tub is losing a liter of water every minute. The handymen have made a hot mud machine. It's time to determine which handyman is the most improved this episode and which one is the worst. To do that, we'll focus on the 3 biggest offenders. We start in the tower that Ruth built. But there's a lot not built.
Everything in here is wildness. It's wrong, it's messy.
There's her grouting job,
She would have been better off to take the towels all right down and start over again.
her toilet vent,
It is leaning a lot.
and the continuing saga of her window.
Once again, it's that if it doesn't fit, we'll find another little stick to make it work.
In Jaime's shed, the urinal leaves a lot to be desired.
He got on the wall crooked. He didn't clean the tile in behind. He had no plan.
He let his grout sit for way too long. He'll never get it clean.
In Terry's shed, his grout is perfect, and his urinal is up, but
Doesn't really care, I don't think.
he sure doesn't care about his ceiling.
He's not staggered any joints. He's gonna have one continuous line. It'll look awful.
More awful than that,
The urinal goes to nowhere. It's more important to have a smoke than have a place for his urinal to empty into.
So, let's talk big picture. Best, worst this episode.
Terry's attitude alone, he's in the running for the worst.
You have to say that Ruth is the worst. When you look at what's been accomplished.
Jeff has really done a poor job as well.
Terry did play hooky today, but Angie's presence made him do more things right than ever before.
It's turning out pretty good. I'm quite happy with it.
So could be the worst and the most improved.
Give me 2 names for most improved.
Hi, me, Jeff.
Hi, me, Terry.
The nominees gather and learn the most improved person this week has always dreamed of outdoor plumbing.
In his own shed at home, he wanted to install a urinal made from an oil funnel and a garden hose.
Yeah.
He was the only one who did his grout work properly, and he is now the most improved handyman here. Terry, it's you.
Thank you.
Oh, whatever. Yeah, whatever.
Now it's time to say who was the worst handyman for this episode. That person is the person who didn't get their vapor barrier finished, didn't get their tongue and groove ceiling finished, and when I gave him an hour to try and finish these things, he didn't take it. The worst person for this episode
is Terry.
Oh, yes, Sweat. Give me that beer back. You get out of that chair.
It's time for Terry to hang his head in shame. Terry was named the most improved for his stellar grouting work and his level urinal. But when he chose to take an hour-long smoke break instead of working, well, that's just the worst.
All right, let's go back. We got some homework for you.
Terry's homework is taking Ruth's unwanted toilet and putting it in his own shed.
This is gender sensitivity training right here.
Come on, I have to go.
I'm trying here. Give me a minute. My man shed shouldn't be taken over by no woman whatsoever. It's a woman's man shed now. Whoa, man shed.
On the next episode of Canada's Worst Handyman.
Don't call me an a-hole.
Floors go down.
They're stuck down good.
That's not stuck down good at all.
And floors come up. The nominees struggle with trim.
Put a different one in a different
They're
spot.
not running out of spots.
Televisions.
This is gonna bloody well fall off the wall, eh?
Another challenge not finished.
And tempers.
All I'm here for is to clean up after you. Off.